Helian comes from Helianthus, which means sunflower in Latin. I used to be very bad at designing characters. Right now I would say I'm like, okay, they look presentable. I do pencil, I do pen, I do paints, I did my first sculpture this year. So I guess I do experiment a lot. I was in such low rank that neither me or my opponent ever killed the dragon.
You needed to lock in, and you locked
I needed
in.
to lock in. I locked in, and now I'm locked.
And you're still locking in. No way. Alright lads, welcome back to Midweek MC, the podcast where I sit down with an amazing co-host, AJX. Welcome in, AJX, how you doing?
Please say it right, come on.
Welcome in, AJX, how you doing?
There you go. I'm okay, I just spilled sugar all over myself.
Oh, well that's because this podcast is going to be nice and sweet, am I right? Anyways, AJX, as per usual with how Midweek MC has gone now, it's not just us. Midweek MC has kind of become an interviewing podcast, which is my fault. I apologize, but it's fine because it means that you get to talk to some really awesome people as well. That's why I've done AJX, just for you. And
like today's guest, one of the most awesome people.
Go on then, since you took over, you can introduce
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Go on, introduce them, please.
Well, today, everyone, we have on the one, the only, and everyone was excited for this on Twitter, Helian.
Welcome in.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. This is very new for me, but I'm very happy.
For everything, right?
Yeah.
You
haven't been interviewed by a podcast before?
I have not.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever done any public speaking?
Other than streaming, not really, especially in English, then no.
That's fine. You're going to do amazing. I wouldn't have invited you on otherwise. So. Also, AJX, yes, you have been. You came on, your first edition of Midweek MC was
anyway.
No, you literally interviewed on the first ever Midweek MC, so I don't really understand.
Who asked? Anyway, on to the first question.
No, we don't just jump into questions. You know this. So what is wrong with you?
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Well, it's sort of the first question.
I want to hear what the question is now to see if you're going to say the right thing. Because I feel like you're going to say the right thing.
I was going to... I told Helian we'd come off our argument phase.
We're not arguing.
I was prepared for rainbows. I was prepared for rainbows and
this is
niceness.
Don't worry.
This is rainbows. Listen to me. It's rainbows.
This is our niceness.
I'm leaving.
No. I'm sorry. Right, go on, AJX then. Go ahead.
Well, the first thing is we like to give our guests a chance to introduce themselves, get to know, let the listeners get to know you, and also give a fun fact about yourself.
You smashed it, other than the fact that you called that a question.
It's kind of a question, is it not, Helian?
I mean, if you could probably say it like a question, maybe, but...
But he is right, Go ahead.
So, right, my name is Helian, as you've probably heard. I'm 19 years old, and my most prominent skill, I would say, and what I do on the internet is draw and post art. And as a very serious artist, I draw a lot of Minecraft because, yes. And a fun fact about myself, what could I say? I feel like I'm not a very fun person.
I'm sure that's a lie.
I mean, you can say something along the lines of like your most fun drawing. Have you ever done a quirky drawing that you never posted that you look at every day? You're just like, that's already funny, but I can't post it.
There's probably a bunch of those drawings.
Exactly. That's a fun fact, then I'd say.
Yeah, I do a lot of funky art that I don't post.
Yeah, there we go. If you don't mind me asking, what's your first language?
Polish. I'm from Poland, so that's also another fun fact, I guess.
Are you once again? Sorry, another question. If you're fine to answer it, are you living in Europe right now? Then, like in Poland, or?
Yeah. I'm in Poland. I study in Polish. Everything is in Polish.
Oh, okay. So time zones are nice then, anyways. That's good. And then like with time of recording this, because obviously sometimes we find it quite hard to schedule podcasts, but I didn't actually know you were living in Poland, so it makes it a lot easier scheduling.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome on. I remember talking to AJX when we were planning to invite you. I said, let's invite them. And he's like, why? Not in a bad way. Why? He just asked. He's just curious. I'm like, well, they make amazing speedrunning art. You posted one yesterday, which was fire, by the way. The one of, I believe that was of yourself, if I'm correct.
Not of myself, but it's a long story.
Is that? I couldn't tell if it was you or Feinberg because you have the same glasses. Or is it neither? Oh no.
It's like It's from a story that my friend made, and it's
Okay.
like, yeah, basically that.
But is it your glasses that they're wearing?
No, not my glasses. My glasses are like pikey.
Oh, but the colors look like Feinberg's one, but I'm assuming it's not Feinberg either. It's
I
just
mean,
glasses.
it is Feinberg, but it's like from the story, it's kind of it's complicated. But it is Feinberg, but the character in the story, basically.
Got you, yeah. And it's still a really amazing drawing. Very talented.
Thank you.
And like AJX said, your tweet got a lot of hype. Your quote retweet actually ratioed the guest announcement. So it says a lot, really, doesn't it? people were hyped for this. So. I guess to kickstart with an actual question this time, AJX.
Okay.
Is it the name Helian, right? We talked before the podcast and mentioned how like Bendo, for example, pronounces it Helian, which and I nearly started pronouncing it wrong. I'm glad I stuck with Helian because otherwise I would have followed suit with him. Where does the name come from and why?
So actually, Helian, the account I use right now, is like one of my many accounts that I've used in my life.
Oh.
And each of them had like a different alias, I would say. And when I was making this account, I was like, okay, I've always been terrible at making up names. And I was like, okay, I need to think of something that I like, actually. And I was just looking for different words and stuff like that. And then I ended up in just Google Translate. And I was translating different words into different languages that I like, words of things that I like. And basically Helian comes from Helianthus, which means sunflower in Latin. And that's basically the story of it. And it's kind of like, I liked how it sounded and I just used it. And then I found out that like the Helian with L replaced with 1 is basically available on every platform other than TikTok and for some reason Reddit. Out of all platforms, I cannot be Helian with 1. But other than that, and it kind of stuck. I think I have it since 2020.
What is your name on TikTok then, if it isn't Helian?
I don't use TikTok. I just checked.
Got you. That's not too bad then.
Well done to you.
Thank you.
Well done to you. I mean, actually, to be fair, I uploaded a little bit on the Insane Orbitzz back in like 2021, but now it's just for podcast clips, which one of these might, who knows? Well, not this specific clip probably won't be unless Jokana decides to make it one, but we might see some clips.
Make this a clip.
But what would be the point? There's nothing. Is it like breaking the fourth wall? Would that be the law behind this? Us breaking the fourth wall?
Yes.
You know what, Helian? You should say something along the lines of, "We're currently in a podcast clip." That'd be law.
What?
No, I am currently in a podcast clip that's on TikTok.
No way. Law.
What?
No law. So sunflower. I mean, but like your branding, it's not really. I guess the closest thing to sunflower would be the orange. But how comes like, and obviously not that you have to do it. But I'm curious, was there anything to do with a sunflower like in your branding? Like, there's not even one like on drawings. Like, I would have assumed something about along the lines of on your clothes, maybe having like a little sunflower pin or something like that. But you don't. So how comes?
I actually like I used to use a different character kind of to represent myself, and it had sunflowers all over its body. But then I kind of reverted back because the one I use currently, that was like my first Minecraft skin. It's just kind of updated, let's say, and I just kind of reverted back to it. And I guess I just thought that the sunflowers don't really fit the one I use currently, so I just didn't add them back. And like, so little people know that Helian and Helianthus is from a sunflower that I thought it's like unnecessary.
That's fair. It's nice to know though. It's a cool name. Because who was it who had the name? Was it Kara Corvus? Their name is from a because Helianthus. I'm gonna really embarrass myself if I get this wrong. And oh wait, Helianthus is Helianthus just a plant, right?
It's a plant. It's a sunflower.
Oh god,
Sunflower,
I was about to call it
You're
a Greek god.
You're listening. Are you listening?
No, I am, but for some bizarre reason I was about to call Helianthus a Greek god.
No.
Because it sounds
There's
like
Helios, I think, because Helios is sun, so there's probably some god like that.
Because that's why I linked it to Kara, because I was like, Kara Corvus is named after like a Greek god. So I was about to say the Helianthus as well, and I am listening, but I feel like the plant, I don't know. Okay? I don't know. Leave me alone. I'm sorry.
It's the prettiest, one of the prettiest flowers is a sunflower, so it's a nice name.
Oh, see, this podcast is going to be sweet. What did I say, eh?
You said, hey, AJX before we started recording this.
Hey,
So,
no, I didn't. No, I didn't. How dare you? I kind of alongside the whole branding thing then as well, with the name, your new character. So you said you changed your character. Your new one is really cool. The half blue, the half orange, the glasses and everything. Like, it's kind of like, it is literally half and half all the way down. Is the shoes half and half? I can't find a picture of your shoes. Oh,
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, the little one of you
everything is
being
half and
held.
half.
Yeah, the little picture of you being held as a kid. That's such a funny image, by the way. Yeah. So how comes that character? Why the half and half, and why them specific colors?
I've always liked the combination of blue and orange. It's like, I remember in primary school, I had an art lesson and we learned about primary and secondary colors. This is like the most basic lore, I feel like. And I was like, this is cool. I really like complementary colors. And I just liked blue and orange the most. And since I was like 11, I've been using a lot of orange and blue in my designs, in my projects, in my designs. I've actually, because I just finished my first semester of university, and most of my projects were done in blue and orange, and I passed, so I guess it worked. And honestly, there isn't really much more to it. I just really like the colors together, and
like the hairstyle and the hair color, is that in any way similar to your like in person, or is it just completely different?
the length is similar. I also have like short, unruly hair, but the color is completely opposite because I have like dark brown, almost black hair. But I just thought white is cool and it looks cool, and also because there's so much going on with the colors, like orange and blue, since they're complementary, there isn't really much more space for other colors, so then white is like neutral.
That's a good reason.
Oh,
you said don't overdo it. Fair enough.
No, I'm saying like you don't want to overdo it. Sorry, with the whole.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Color scheme is nice, and like you said, with the whole like the blue and orange kind of standing out. It'd be a bit crazy if you had like pink hair. It's like, oh, so many colors, so many different things to look at. It's like your attention would be drawn to too many places, whereas now I think it's really evenly balanced with the white, the blue, and the orange kind of thing.
I'm glad.
So, what was like the first thing that happened? So, you talking there about complementary colors? Yeah, exactly.
Good start, fair play.
You talking there about complementary colors? That's like my one bit of art that I remember from school. So I was wondering, like, when did you what was the first thing you could remember about art and such? See, it's a deep question there for me.
I need to think. I've been into art since basically I can remember. Like, my first memory of doing art is being in preschool, like at 3 or 4 years old, and I had a coloring page, and I remember just having a green like, I don't know why it's such a vivid memory to me. It's like I can remember the exact place I was sitting in, and I had a green pencil, and I was like going ham all over the paper. I was not in lines, not at all. But that was my like eureka moment. And since then, I've always liked the idea of being an artist, even when I didn't really understand how one becomes an artist. And then I guess from during my life, I kind of had art in the background. I wasn't really focusing on it. I tried many different things. And right now, I like returned to art since I finished high school. I was like, okay, this is actually what I want to be doing. And so now I'm taking it like more seriously. But yeah, basically it's like it's always followed me, just on different levels.
They say that you remember like things that like are kind of the beginning of things. I could be making up. It feels like it's something I'm making up off the top of my head here, but also they say that you like remember stuff that kind of got you to where you are now, or like something that you really love. And because for instance, I've always been a little bit chaotic behind the scenes. So one memory I have, and it's also partly because my parents told me about it, was when I was younger. We had like a fireplace like rack like to stop us from getting to the fireplace, and apparently every single day I'd go up to it and keep yanking at it, and then when I eventually pulled it off the wall, I never went near the fireplace ever again. So
you just really hated that fireplace rack.
Yeah, I pulled it off the wall and that was it. So
the mission was
like,
complete.
Yeah, exactly, mission complete. There's like part memory I've been told, but that just always resonates with me because like I guess you with the art deals where you kind of like, and not even in a jokey way here, like a dead serious way, it's where you began your journey. Like you started colouring there, and so be it was a bit chaotic, but it was still something, you know. And then now you're here.
Now I'm here.
Now you're here on this podcast.
The Inside Artist podcast. We're renaming it. Let's go. Jeez.
Oh wow.
When do you think you started to take it a bit more seriously? Because obviously, you know, kind of coloring in a color book is, I mean, I did that when I was younger, and I can call myself talented even if I did it now, but I can barely keep within the lines. So when would you say you kind of started going, all right, yeah, full send art, like this is great? Because you do a lot, like you do a lot of art, and you're really quick at it as well, which is kind of crazy. Or at least it feels like you're quite quick at it. So like, at what point did you turn around and go, yeah, this is going to be serious?
Like completely serious, I think I would say around quarantine, because I had like a lot of time to think, obviously, and I've also had a lot of time to get better at it, basically. And also it was when I started realizing that because I was majoring maths and comp sci in school, and I was like, kind of, it was hitting me that that's just not what I want to do. And so that's when I decided, like, okay, I will finish school and then I will just start doing what I actually want to do. And so I think when I was around 17, like late 17, I started like practicing traditional art and like actual how you do it properly. But I guess when I was like 12, I think I started digital art. So that was like, those were those major moments. When I was 12 and I started digital, it was still a hobby only, but I was like, okay, this is very cool. And then when I was like around 17, I was like, okay, I really want to start doing this like serious.
And now is that once again, this might be a bit more of a personal question, but so it's fine if you don't answer. But like right now, based on commissions and stuff, is this a full job? I believe you do work like in quotation marks IRL job as well alongside doing art, or am I wrong there?
I don't work a full-time job. I'm still in school. So I do school plus commissions, basically.
Got you. Okay, so there's no part-time job. I guess your part-time job would be commissions, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And is it doing well right now? Like, is it popular? Looks up.
I mean, it's fine enough for me. It's not like I could move out because I'm living with my parents. It's not like I could move out and like afford living just from commissions, but it's enough where I can be like, buy all my stuff. I can buy fuel for my car. So it's like, it's enough for me, basically.
You drive?
Yeah, I drive.
I don't drive. AJX, you drive, don't you?
I do.
Oh my god, you guys
It's
can
so
run late.
freeing.
Well, see,
more than non-licensed boy over here.
Well, I only get
Imagine
the train
the
for 2
license.
stops though. Like, there's no point in me having a car because I get the train for 2 stops, and plus I can be a passenger princess. Right?
You heard of freedom? That's the reason.
My money is right now is being saved towards holidays to have freedom on holidays, not to be paying off a car. So as much as I want to, as much as I would love to drive. I mean, to be fair, actually, yeah, one day I'll drive. I'm being a lot more confident about it now, but right now
You can get it at any point, so it's like, it's no rush.
Exactly. I can learn to hot.
I've had 3 cars, and let me tell you, they're the biggest waste of money ever.
Yeah, well, you need.
But also freedom.
Also, I mean, you know, it'll be useful at the end of March, right? You being able to drive, so
True.
for certain things that we won't get into just yet. We can talk about it later. Though. But yeah, that's pretty hype. Back to you, and not talking about cars here. Kind of still more on like the art level. We're kind of going up the like little tree of history here, but when did you then why specifically MCSR, right? Because I assume during like lockdown, and I could be completely wrong here, but you probably did like a lot of different types of art. But what resonated MCSR with you so much?
Oh god. So I've always been a fan of Minecraft, like since 2012, I think is when I first played, and I've drawn some Minecraft, and I had a few years break, and then during lockdown, when the like whole Dream SMP and every SMP ever blew up, I kind of returned to that topic, and it was basically like a pipeline between all the big fandoms, like, as I said, Dream SMP, then Hermitcraft, and then I kind of just, like, I've watched speedrunning, like, from time to time in 2021, 2022, and then I kind of just stumbled upon a speedrunning stream in February 2023. It's just kind of like, I was really into the idea, and it really got me, like, hooked. Even if I wasn't doing art for it, I would be watching it for sure. And I have that thing where I'm not very good at expressing how I'm a fan of something with words. So instead I just used images, and because I was like becoming a fan, I was drawing the images to like kind of express how I'm just liking what I'm watching. And I think it's a really nice topic for drawings, if that makes sense, because it gives you a lot to work with, but at the same time, it gives you a lot of freedom, because the idea is there, that it's Minecraft, it's kind of these guys do this thing and they look like this, but it's you still have so much that you can make up yourself, that I feel like it creates this like very nice balance, at least for me, to like create in a way that I like, if that makes sense.
Well, I guess that's the perfect thing, right? You want something that you enjoy creating stuff from. I was going to ask you, have you been in any other, like, I use the term fandom here, but like, have you had anything else that you've loved and like drawn stuff for in the past, or was this the starting point?
Oh no. I've started posting art when I started digital, so when I was 12. Definitely too early to be on the internet.
Yes.
Yes, I would not do that again if I had the choice. But I actually started with drawing My Little Pony. So, yes. So those were my first drawings, and then I've been in many. I've drawn for Undertale. I've drawn for Win Universe. I've drawn for Drag Race and Drag Queens. I think that.
Oh, okay.
I think that era is kind of like unexpected.
That's cool though.
It was very cool. I learned a lot during it because I was forced to draw actual people, so that very pushed me to try different things. And after Drag Race, I focused on like Minecraft in fandom spaces, because obviously I like do a lot of art that I don't post. I just post my like interest art, I would say.
I knew for some reason Steven Universe would come up, and My Little Pony is a shock because every artist. Go ahead.
I feel like it's very prominent in my style that I had to have that ace.
Really?
So I don't blame you.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I hadn't thought about it.
I have to live with it.
I think every artist person I've ever talked to started on My Little Pony, so that also makes sense. But the drag race one's cool. I've never I've obviously seen Drag Race, but never like really experienced any art from. So that's an interesting one.
One of my IRL friends is secretly a drag queen.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
So like they do it, but they don't tell anyone. But I know, like obviously they've kind of like half told me, but I also like when I say half told me, I saw them one day and they like and then they kind of had they were forced to tell me because I saw them on the train and I knew it was them, and it was kind of like an situation, but they thought I was gonna like be like thinking about it. But I was like, no, that's really cool. Like I love drag queens. I think they're amazing.
Yeah, I really love it.
Not personally one myself, but I do think they're really cool.
Maybe an idea for the future,
I mean, yeah, I could try it one day. It's never ruling out,
Got the cheekbones for it.
You do know what I look like, don't you? Do I have the cheekbones for it?
That was more people say that as a thing, but yeah, sure.
Oh, I thought someone me specific. No, I was going to take a compliment.
No, you know what? Take it as a compliment if you wish, King.
Okay,
take it as a compliment if you wish. I was going to say, was that an interesting thing? Because you talked about like how inspiring MCSR is. I think I added the wrong letters there. But was that sort of stuff obviously has inspired your art now? Because of course, but was that like what I'm saying is the expressiveness of drag race and drag queens, was that very good for the like what you do now in terms of how expressive your art is?
I mean, it definitely helped with expression. The thing is, it like helped with a thing I was struggling, I guess, because I come from a bunch of game and cartoon fandoms and phases and stuff, and I weren't really forced to draw like actual something that exists before. So I guess more so than like expression, it just helped me kind of make things. I wouldn't say realistic because my style is far from realism, but it definitely helped me with like shapes of humans and stuff like that.
That's interesting. That's a cool thing.
And also fashion, I guess, because a lot of different clothes and outfits and stuff like that.
I think your person's very very stylish. I love the your art. Well, your I say person icon. I love the half and half design.
The orange and the blue, the combination, the dynamic duo of colours.
Dynamic duo of colours.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good blend. I mean, blue and orange is a nice blend. I like it. Back to
what sort of other stuff helped you get your design? How you design characters? How you draw? Was there any other inspirations for that?
You kind of, when you draw, you just get inspiration from anything and everything. There's sometimes from the most random things. I guess for like specifically character design, I do always value the colors I use the most. I would say I really like making color palettes and all that stuff. I used to be very bad at designing characters. Right now I would say I'm like, okay, they look presentable. It used to be real bad. I remember, this is a random story, but I remember making a character for, I actually forgot, I also had an Overwatch face, which also, also not maybe my proudest moment. But I remember I wanted to create character to like kind of like fake hero, and I posted it out of all possible places. I for some reason posted it on Facebook, and people read me from head to toe. They were like, "What the hell is this? What did you just create?" And I was like, "Oh no." I thought it looks cool, and that's also like that was my canon event for character design, and I was like, okay, I need to start understanding what I'm doing, and so yeah, now I think I don't really do anything special. I just look at stuff and make stuff.
I think your character designs and art style is amazing. I love what you do with sort of like shadows and your sort of shapes you use in your designs. I think it's very unique and very cool.
I just can't believe. I guess like this is also part only knowing you as of recently, but I can't believe you've only been doing it since 2023, like specifically MCSR. Like you've done so much. It feels like you've been in that community for a lot longer, but like 2023 is this very short period of time, and like I guess hearing the stories of you doing other communities would make sense as to why like you've only just got into that. But I think I'm kind of the opposite. Like I love MCSR, but I express that through the podcast by, like yourself today, bringing on people to do with Minecraft speedrunning, whereas obviously you do it through art, which is kind of cool. And obviously you have your specific people that you do it for a lot, so it's also nice to see that.
Yeah.
What would you say is your best ever piece? Like when you go to show somebody a piece of art that you've done, it doesn't have to be speedrunning, it can be anything, and you just look and you're like, there, I drew that was me, I did that. What would be that piece?
I would say it depends on what person I'm showing, because if it's someone in real life or like someone more serious, there's those two pieces I have that are traditional and realism and stuff like that. There's this model drawing that I made and I really like how it came out, and also an auto-portrait oil painting. I really like those two. They're like completely different from what I post, but I think I really like how those turned out. Like I really like when I envision something and it comes out as I envisioned it, and those two are kind of the examples of that. And if it's like digital showing to people or like sending us portfolios, I would have to think. I really like, there's this one lineless Feinberg drawing that I made of like, I don't really even know how to call it, but it's like basically him in the middle and different stuff that's connected to all advancements around him. I really like this one. It's very old, but very old, a few months old.
Really old. I made it about 5 years ago.
In the grand scheme of art.
In the grand scheme of my folder, it's pretty deep. But yeah, I really like that one. There's also a few of the ones I made in October where I like drew every day. Because I really experimented during October, and there's a bunch of those that I'm like proud with showing, especially with like, this only took me an hour and a half or something like that. But I don't think I have like a specific favorite that's me. I feel like I'm not yet that like set in stone with my art style, where I'm like, okay, there's this one piece and it shows what I want to do.
You responded to my drawing of of Mike Wazowski and Peppa Pig with a huge fan of these. So it's nice to see that you're a big fan of my art as well. It took me like 20-30 minutes to draw. I'll link it here, AJ, so you can get the context. That's what I'm talking about.
I was gonna. That took way too much time to draw.
But it's good drawing, and Helian liked it, so that's what it matters, right?
I'm a fan, so
Exactly.
I'm less so.
I had a follow up here. Or do you have one, AJX?
No, go ahead.
Okay, great. I can talk more. Perfect. So what I kind of like linking back into something that you mentioned earlier. You said about kind of going into digital art. Like what was the cause for that? Like, because obviously when you think art, or well, at least when I used to think art when I was younger, I always used to think like traditional drawing on a piece of paper art, or like painting, right? But like as of recently, obviously, other than what you do elsewhere, digital art has become like quite popular in a sense of it's more common. You see it, right? So
yeah,
what is it? What is it exactly that like got you into it? Was it easier? Was it more? I assume it probably isn't easier, but like was it just more? I guess I don't know. I'm not gonna try and think of a word here. Yeah, how come you switched?
So first of all, I discovered digital art by watching speed paints on YouTube. So that's how I discovered it, and it looked fun, and I wanted to try it out. So I like pirated Paint Tool Say, and I remember I was drawing on canvases that were like 100 by 100 pixels or 200 by 200 pixels, and I could not understand why the quality was so terrible. But yeah, and I had a mouse, and that was almost, I think for around a year I used just a mouse, and I was just having fun. I liked how much freedom it gives you, especially when you're a beginner, because you have you can choose any color, you can choose any pencil, you can choose any brush, and you don't have to like buy each tool and buy each pencil for each color. You just have it all, and it's just all available to you. So I really liked that. I still, of course, I never like completely abandoned traditional art. I just found digital also fun and just spent a lot of time on expanding my skill set in that area.
I can imagine as well, like, actually, I didn't really think of that too much when you said about the kind of a whole color palette. You can literally just choose any color on online.
Yeah, it's I feel like people rarely mention it, but it's genuinely so convenient.
And like, so kind of once again linking back to a prior thing, and this might sound like a bit of a silly question, but I'm curious anyways. When you were studying, and even maybe now you're studying, is that art? Are you studying art, or are you studying something completely different?
Yeah, currently I'm studying art.
Okay, yeah, I had a feeling that might be a silly question, but I wanted to ask anyways, because in secondary school I had the option to do art, and I did food tech for some bizarre reason. I wish I did computer science or accounting or whatever it was at the time, but I chose to do food tech. I guess I've used one or two of the skills to make dinner at home, but I have done nothing to do with making food. So I had art as an option, but I didn't do that either. I was like, no, they had like an 8-hour exam. They had an 8-hour exam. I couldn't have done that. I would have kept losing focus.
That's like, for exam. Fortunately, I have dyspraxia, so I've always been terrible at art, despite loving art so much, and I really wish I could do it. But is there like any sort of other things you trying to do to experiment with your art? I guess what I mean by that is, have you like looked at doing any forms of animation with it? Have you looked at making any form of it like expressive arts? I guess animation is the only one I can think of right now.
So I would say with trying, I would say a lot of things. I think the only like art path I haven't yet checked out is 3D art. I would say it's just very overwhelming to me for some reason. But other than that, I've tried animation. I do little animations from time to time, either for myself or like for small emotes for Twitch or stuff like that. It also like taught me editing a little bit, which is a useful skill. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that a lot of animators also have to know how to edit. That's fun fact. And like with digital, other than 3D, I think I've tried most of it. And then in traditional, I do pencil, I do pen, I do paints, I did my first sculpture this year. So I guess I do experiment a lot. I enjoy it a lot.
Kind of still keeping on the topic of art here. Who would have thought we're talking to you about art? This is crazy, Helian. I found out recently, funny enough, due to just another thing that's happening, which you got invited to yesterday, I believe. So this podcast will be out long before anything to do with that happens. So we won't. Just hints for now, okay? Something in April. You'll see. Anyways, I found out while working on that you were part of the, what's the specific name for it? MCSR Art for Palestine, something like that, right?
Yes.
Let me get the exact name so I can feel better about myself here. It is it is literally just Artists for Palestine. There we go. And you were a part of it amongst the big list. I can see your little profile picture there with the dog. Is that with a dog?
Yes, that's my little dog.
What was that? What exactly did you do there? Because I was gonna look into it. I was like, actually, you know what? We have someone coming on the podcast tomorrow. You can tell us about it. So what was that whole experience? What was that?
So basically, one of the big fandoms came up with the idea of people donating for Palestine and Palestine charities, and then those people getting art in exchange. And that group was huge. That they had hundreds of artists, and basically other communities started picking up on it, which I thought was very, very cool, and started doing their own versions. So basically every community could get art in exchange for money.
That's cool. For
Palestine. And so we did that as well in MCSR. It was hosted by October and Uba, if I recall correctly. So shout out to them. And they told me about it and were like, "Are you interested in that?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I'm interested." And it basically, we had tiers, and whoever donated at which tier would get art at specific level of rendering, and if they paid a lot they could choose an artist and stuff. And most of us got to do a few pieces, which I think is great because MCSR is quite a small community, so we weren't expecting to raise thousands and thousands, because I think that the community that started it got $50,000. They got or even more, I don't remember, but they got huge amounts of money. But I would say for the size of our community, we also raised a lot of money. And yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of that, because I know I don't have the financial means to donate a lot to charities, sadly. So if I could do that through something else, that was I'm glad I could.
And I think the artist community, at least this one, is growing quite a bunch, right? I mean, obviously not to say the InsideMC podcast is the all's ends or whatever the saying is there, but it's growing to a sense of I think your art is amazing, so I wanted you to bring you on the podcast, and other stuff along those lines. So I think the artist community is genuinely growing, slowly but surely, right?
I would say so. I think so. As we've said before, I've been here for quite a short time, so I don't really know how it looked in 2021, 2022. I don't know how many artists were here back then.
The times just change. I think that's just the times changing anyways. There probably was a few, but it's probably a different bunch.
Yeah, so there's been probably a rotation, and I'm in the new rotation. But I feel we've been seeing new people popping up, and it's always cool to see more art.
And you're one of them, Have you ever attempted speedrunning?
Oh.
Rough topic.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I have, but emphasis on attempted.
Was it? Have you completed a run? Have you ever killed the Ender Dragon?
I have killed, but not in a speedrun. I had survival worlds, I had hardcore worlds. That's when I killed the dragon, but never finished any percent run.
6 months is still a speed run, in my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't. Speed, just because it says speed doesn't mean it has to be fast. I mean, look at a car, right? You can go 1 mile per hour. You can go at speed 50. You can go at speed 2. It still has speed in the name, right?
Exactly. As a fun fact, I guess I can say that I like running small categories, for example all minerals and stuff like that, and I have the 4th time for obtain netherite structureless.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh, so so you're not like a speedrunner or the Ender Dragon speedrunner. You're a speedrunner grab something for the sake of it, right?
Yes, that's more up my alley.
This is my record for die as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Which includes doing the /kill command.
You always say that. You always use that whenever we have something to do with speedrunning. I think you said that on the MCSR Ranked podcast. You're I have to.
Hey, look! It was an impressive record by me.
Yeah, you're still somehow holding it. Someone needs to beat it. Someone needs to go get it.
I'm pretty sure someone has. But
going straight back into art here. Funny enough, this podcast is all over, but it's like in a great way because I keep thinking of topics as we're kind of going along here. You, as far as I'm aware, you don't like, you stream, which we'll talk about in a second. But you don't have, do you have a YouTube channel? You don't, do you?
No.
Have you ever thought about, like, obviously with like a trademark on and slapped in front of it? Have you never thought about like recording yourself, like doing the art, or like and then speeding up and uploading it? Like that kind of back to the TikTok thing earlier. Have you never thought about making like a TikTok so you could upload, like, once again, your pieces are amazing, and even if you commission someone and you get their permission to upload it, why don't you just upload like speed art videos and stuff like that?
I just never really like cared, I guess, to do that. But it's not like I'm opposed to the idea. I just probably should care about that, but just don't. Like it's an easy thing because like the app I use just records the process automatically, so I could just throw that into an editing program, put some music, and just throw it onto a channel. But I just never really. I used to post speed paints when I was like 14, but right now I haven't really. I don't know if people would really be interested in that. I feel like I struggle with that idea that like people just aren't really interested in that stuff, so I just don't bother with it.
I mean, I think it'd be cool to watch though. Like even if it wasn't so done, I could have it on like watching you, like, because I love like whenever people are doing an art stream. I'm always kind of lurking in the background watching it happen. So it's just nice to watch while I listen to podcasts. I feel like it'd be nice to just slap on YouTube, because like I could just watch anyone do it, I guess. Like I could go and find someone, but then it's also different like watching someone who you kind of like follow on Twitter and actually have interacted with. I can't really explain it. It just feels better to watch that kind of thing, you know.
I understand.
I don't know, throwing ideas out there. If there's anything they're ever interested, I just think it'd be cool if you. I mean, like obviously, I kind of linking into the streaming here as well. Like you streamed yourself, kind of doing the. I think your most recent one was like a hardcore stream. Did you on that stream? Did I hear it properly? You mentioned something about doing a future art stream, or did I just mishear completely?
My recent one was actually an art stream, so.
Oh, so I watched the one before that, and then I missed the art stream. That's really sad, actually. that comes with the busyness. Do you plan on doing more art streams then?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I don't really plan them because I just kind of stream for fun. I just like talking out when I'm drawing, I guess. But it's like if it happens, it happens. I definitely will stream more. But it's like I can't say that I'm going to stream on Friday. Definitely, it's just kind of it happens randomly.
You and I both. Don't worry. You and I both. And I think AJX as well, actually, for that matter.
Well, somewhat, yeah. But if I ever stream, it's just pretty much out of obligation.
I feel like you stream more and separated by pixels nowadays, to be honest.
That's because we agreed to stream on Tuesdays, so it's a strict schedule.
Yeah, and then we'll see after this podcast as well. You go on a stream, but this isn't about you, AJ. Stop making it about yourself.
No.
All right.
Just love.
How comes you decided to start streaming then? And like, what got you into that? Was it just something different? Did you just have the facilities for it and you was like, yeah, let's do it? Or
I guess because MCSR is like almost purely based on streaming. There isn't very much compared to like the amount of streaming content to YouTube content. There's just much more on the streaming content, and I guess just watching so much of it, I was like, this looks kind of fun. And I've seen that this community is very like supportive of people who just start out and aren't very huge and known, but like still people show up and say hi, and I think that's very nice and it's encouraging. And I was like, I always liked the idea in my head of what it looks like, so I just decided to try it out and I liked it. So
it's all working out, right?
It's working out all right, I would say.
And you've been streaming Minecraft hardcore and stuff. Do you ever plan to speed run on stream?
I had one stream where I played MCSR ranked.
Oh no.
And I did my like qualification matches, and I was in such low rank that neither me or my opponent ever killed the dragon. Just either me or them forfeited.
Oh no. I'm sorry. It's really sad, actually.
It is sad. It is like I would love to learn it, and I've watched many tutorials. I kinda know like the bastion routes and stuff like that, but I just cannot comprehend it.
What if you drew a speedrun? Like, you know a little paper thing, and like you move the pages and it's moving. What if you drew yourself speedrunning on a piece of paper?
Jesus.
That would be me speedrunning.
That goes so hard actually. Like you can enjoy yourself like mining wood and then building an Ever portal and then killing piglins and I know you don't kill the piglins. You trading with piglins and killing blazes and then jumping into an end portal straight from the Nether. Oh, that could be so cool. Like you jump up and you like in the Nether you jump into a thing and then the paper transitions into you being in a stronghold jumping into the end portal. Oh, you should definitely do that. That'd go crazy.
But you have to speed run it.
You have to speedrun drawing it.
Oh, like 1 hour per piece, and it's just
Exactly.
No, I'm
exactly.
talking like 7 minutes per piece.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean,
The
that's a
time
cool
it
concept,
takes
that
to
is.
speed run the game.
Yeah, I mean, if Drip can get a 7-minute 1 second run, I'm sure you can get a 7-minute 1 second drawing. No way. Do you plan to like kind of broaden your horizons at any time in the future? Like still in Minecraft? So you draw a lot of speedrunning, which is completely fine. Like you don't have to broaden your horizons here at all. I'm just curious. But do you plan to move into like drawing other aspects of Minecraft, like SMPs or tournaments or that kind of jazz, or are you just kind of sticking to speedrunners for now? Just like like you said, you draw what you enjoy, right? And as like I said, that's completely fine. But I'm just out of curiosity here. Outside of commissions, because I feel like because obviously with commissions you're probably drawing many different things in different styles.
I mean, currently I'm not really planning on to because I'm not really watching anything other in like I guess I watch some tournaments, but it's like I'm not opposed to the idea if there suddenly appears something that I enjoy watching and it makes me want to draw. I never really like stop myself from drawing, I guess, because I know a lot of people really tie themselves to the community they're in and they're like apologetic for stopping drawing that something from that fandom, or they're like, sorry, I started drawing something else, and it's like, why are you sorry?
Yeah,
Just
draw you enjoy.
draw what you like. And it's like some people will leave because they are there for strictly the community, but like that's fine at the end of the day.
That's the
So,
same
yeah.
mentality. Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't know, I just want to say, so like currently I'm not planning on to, but it's like I'm not opposed to the idea if something appears.
That's fair. Like you said, I didn't mean to broaden your horizons in a negative way there at all, because what you're doing is completely fine and it's amazing. I was just curious as to like the wording was just there for that reason. Things.
You are the biggest fan, so.
True. I mean, but it's kind of what I was gonna say there. It's the same with the podcast, right? I just bring on people I enjoy talking to. Right? Like I know I've kind of targeted MCSR and the tournament scene quite a bit, but like I've invited SMP Craze, I've invited all of them.
That's because you love it as well. So you know you're gonna. Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I cater to that. But also I will just invite, like, we had Mr. Mystery on, we had the AJX admin on. Like that's a completely different community. But it's my podcast. I'm doing it. I don't care. Like yeah, of course I want to do what you guys are gonna listen to. The listener here, right? I obviously cater to you guys a decent amount. But I also am just gonna invite people and I enjoy talking to, because at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to edit it. I'm the one who has to upload it. I'm the one who has to be proud of it. The same way with your art. You're the one who has to draw it. You're the one who has to upload it. You're the one who has to be proud of hosting it. So do what you want. So yeah, I don't know, kind of defending your point there. The annual, not annual, the some part weekly Orbitzz rant. Just made that topic. And it made that bit of the podcast. Orbitzz goes on a rant. Yeah?
Ranted.
That would have sounded a lot better in AJX's voice. I can't explain it. Can you say that, AJX? I feel like it would have been a lot better from you.
What do you want me to? The whole thing?
No, like Orbitzz goes on a rant.
Orbitzz goes on a rant.
Yeah, see, that sounds better, doesn't it?
Voice
Voice
coaching.
actor. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record. So I'm not going to keep asking. I'm not going to like go on to move on to like similar questions that we've already asked. But we have some Twitter questions, Helian. But have we covered everything? Is there anything in this podcast that you wanted to speak about regarding art that we didn't bring up, or do you think we've done a pretty good job of covering every aspect?
I think you've done a pretty good job. I don't think there's. I mean, if there is a question, I will talk, but there's nothing from me specifically.
That's fair. We do have some Twitter questions though. On the main tweet, the main guest announcement that got ratioed by you. No one asked any questions on yours. They're all hyping you up, which big respect.
Big respect.
So you got a lot of like, from people I know and we got Bendo screaming Helian with a bunny gif. We got October saying holy fuck. Lewis Fulham Helian reference. Like, I know these aren't questions, but I just want to give props to them because obviously I've interacted with them. So big up them. The first one comes from Sir Iron MC.
Ooh.
Why are you so freaking awesome?
True.
I love Iron. I wouldn't say that. So I don't know the answer to that. I appreciate the nice words. It's so like I'm not used to people being so nice, and it's always like very overwhelming in a positive sense. But
Yeah.
it's like I really appreciate it.
Your turn, AJX. And hopefully the question you ask has a bit of a better response.
Next one is from Ark, who says, "Hi, Helian, hi.
Hello.
But the actual question was, genuinely, how do you stay motivated to draw? Do you have a process or getting new ideas, or do things just come to you?"
With the motivation question, I guess because obviously when people draw, they most often do it because they actually like it. But I feel like I set up quite a nice system for how I work, let's say. And I've kind of separated my art into 3 categories. And one category is art I'm specifically posting, art I'm specifically making because I know I want to post it online and I want people to see it and I want people to perceive it. The second category, I would say, is like, I'm fine with people seeing it, but I'm not making it specifically for posting. It's like, I can show my friends and I can show my IRLs and stuff like that. And like, maybe one day I will post it because I will like it actually. And then a third category is just like art specifically for me, for my enjoyment. And it's not like it's some extreme weird art or anything like that. It's just like purely for my enjoyment. I don't pay a lot of attention to any details. I just kind of draw how I feel. And I feel like that really helps me with keeping motivation because I can just jump from categories, whatever I feel like doing more. If I don't feel like making presentable art, I can just make art for myself and don't feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like a lot of people think that when they don't make gorgeous finished art, it's like waste. But anything you draw is process and teaches you something. So I think that really helps keep my motivation up. And it's like also changing kind of my attitude towards it, because I used to have that attitude of like, as many people as possible need to like it, and everyone has to like it, and if it doesn't get enough numbers, it sucks. And right now I'm very like, I don't care, who likes it, then they will like it, and if they don't, at least I like it. So that's how I'm motivated. I kind of went on a rant here.
That's a very good mental mental attitude.
Yeah, I feel like I've worked on my mental quite a lot, because I did used to have I would say not a very good attitude towards like making art, and then I had like my body just forced me to take a year-long break. I just didn't make anything for a year in my time, and I was like, I think 16. I just did not make anything because I just couldn't bring anything out of myself. And then after I slowly started coming back, I just was like, okay, I need to kind of change how I'm thinking about this all. And I think that like working on that is a big part of then just allowing yourself to learn, allowing yourself to fail as well, because like obviously not the road isn't linear. Linear. Okay.
I couldn't even think of the word there, don't worry.
No, you did well. You did well. You made me know what it was.
I didn't. I like even later. I've just never heard that saying before. I've always just used the road. The road is always bumpy.
Okay, that's
No one's easier
What?
for me, anyways. It's a bumpy road. You're gonna have your ups and downs.
yeah.
Life is a roller coaster.
I don't like
So,
roller coasters.
That's just okay. You know what? That's fine.
No, that's nice though. That's really nice to know. I mean, because that's it. I was gonna make a joke there. Let's just pretend I never started there. I'm keeping that in. Don't worry. You needed to lock in, and you locked in.
I needed to lock in. I locked in, and now I'm
And
locked.
you're still locking in. No way.
I'm not
The most okay.
letting go.
Exactly. The next one comes from Fish. I am so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong here, and I feel like I have. KK Fish.
I love fish.
Okay, it is Fish. Anyways, hello. Question from them. Helian! I have a question. What do you draw inspiration from when doing character design?
I feel like it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, where I focus really on colors. Certain combinations inspire me quite a lot when it comes to design. And I feel like what's important when making a design is kind of thinking of it sounds very like obvious, but it's like setting on a vibe you're going for and it doesn't have to be very elaborate, just one thing that you want the design to represent. And also I feel like what's really cool when you're making, for example, character designs for a story is relating the designs between characters to represent their dynamics. I really like doing that. And when it comes to, like, for example, designing speedrunners, I like to, because obviously I base the designs on skins, I like taking the skin and I like taking the actual runner and either the personality or what they're known for or their play style and kind of like mashing the two together. So I feel like I did a lot of it just happens in my brain and I don't really know how to put it into words. But if I was to, I would say that.
I feel like we should add a fourth one here, AJX. Sorry, I know I said we'd only ask 3, but can I ask a fourth one, AJX? Is that
yeah, go ahead.
The final one here then, and the actual final one is from Ezra. My question, why haven't you ever drawn horses? I think they'd look great in your style and could even be cool for your D&D stuff.
Okay, so me and Ezra, we are friends, and they know that I really dislike horses. Also, a random fun fact about me: I like all animals are great, and then there are horses that I, for some reason, just resent. We don't even have a rast. I've never met a horse.
Yeah, I mean, interesting way to put it. Fair play though.
So yeah, I refuse to. I mean, I think I've drawn a few horses before, but it's definitely not. They are not my muses. They are not an inspiration to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that being said, then, and that final question being answered, I believe that brings the end of this midweek MC. No way. It's been a good podcast.
Woo!
I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed the talk.
Yes,
Thank you for coming on.
Me too.
I enjoyed myself a lot too. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Before we do the outro here, we always like to give the opportunity for you to promote yourself. Anything you'd like to promote. Obviously, you're doing commissions, so please promote those away. And yeah, where can people find you? All that kind of jazz. Anything you want, all's yours.
So I am on Twitter. I am on Twitch. I am on Tumblr, and all of those. My name is Helian, but the L is replaced with 1, and it's like everywhere it's the same. And both on my Twitter and on my Tumblr, my commissions are pinned, so check those out. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to promote.
Fair enough. Go commission Helian. Make them really busy. Give them loads of commissions. Don't give them a chance to rest.
I need money.
No more time for podcasts. I don't want them going on any other podcasts. Only InsideMC. Commission them to the point where they don't have time for it. I get. All right.
Exactly.
Thank you, AJX, for coming on as per usual as the co-host. It's been amazing having you.
Thanks for having me, good sir.
And yeah, that brings the end of midweek MC. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces.
Bye.